Hi guys, it's Amazing Purple Girl back with another game. This one is Lift Your Spirits. Another game I found in the horror section on Itch. So it sounded really quite interesting. It says it's quite short, around 20 minutes. There are, I think it said, 4 endings. So let's give it a go. Alone on a Friday night, and I'm spending it here. My fingers were sluggish as they typed out the last bit of conclusion needed to finish off my paper. I didn't even bother spell checking the rest, my hand dragging the cursor across to close the document. Alright, time to submit it. I typed out my regards to Mr. Holtman. Kindly find the attached file of assignment, your student, Amazing Purple Girl. Stifling a yawn, I turned on my phone to check the time. 2:53 a.m. The universal experience of losing sleep and gaining eye bags as a college student came to grace me in its hold once again, it seems. At least it's the weekend. Turning off the computer, it suddenly hit me how quiet it was without my fingers tapping away at the keyboard. Everyone else had left. The campus was open 24/7, but who else was dumb enough to push their luck in submitting their assignment this late? I considered myself lucky Mr. Holtman gave me the extended deadline, otherwise I'd be screwed. Still, there were also the rumours. Disembodied voices echoing through empty rooms. Heavy footsteps shuffling down the halls. Those who were lucky claimed to see a black silhouette skulking around the vending machine at the end of the corridor, staring at them. I wasn't the superstitious type, but I had to admit the eerie silence of being the only person here gave me the creeps. I was recalling all the gossip spread around the student body when a sound made me perk up. I glanced behind me over the monitors to see if someone had come in. Nobody. I ignored the goosebumps rising on my arms as I gathered up my items into my bag. Superstitious or no, I've done what I came here for. Time to go. I shambled to the elevators and tapped the button. It rumbled to life, slowly making its way up to my floor. Just a couple more minutes and I'm out of here, I assured myself. I don't know why, but I found myself constantly checking behind me as if expecting someone there. Yet it's always empty every time I look. I tapped the button some more. The hairs at the back of my neck stood as if I was being watched. I clenched my fists, ignoring how sweaty they felt in my pockets. Is there someone behind me? Ding! I jumped. The door slid open as I released a breath I didn't realize I was holding. I didn't even consider looking back as I stepped inside, refusing to turn around until the doors closed. The chipper background music they played calmed me down somewhat. I can barely hear it. Let's turn it up a bit. I'm almost in disbelief they were still playing it at this hour. Almost. I pressed the button for the ground floor the elevator moving with a small jolt. With nothing to do but wait, I stared as the numbers slowly descended. The lull of the elevator was starting to make me sleepy. I thought of the things I could do once I got home, just to distract myself for the rest of the ride. A shower for sure. I wasn't able to read that. Huh? I blinked up at the flickering lights. Ow! The elevator shuddered and came to an abrupt halt. The music cut out. I tried the button for the ground floor, then the rest. Unresponsive. Pushing the intercom button gave nothing but static. Hello? No, this can't be happening. Taking a moment to compose myself, I called out. Is anyone out there? I'm stuck in here. Help! I started slamming the doors as panic took hold. There had to be someone out there. Help! Please, I'm in here. I didn't stop for a good minute, getting more and more desperate as tears welled up in my eyes. Why? Why now? Why me? I knocked my forehead against the door in a slump, ready to curl up and cry. This sucks. I was about to turn before I felt a chill run up my spine. The air felt heavy. Is this claustrophobia setting in? I didn't think I had a fear of closed spaces. Unless... There was a raspy moan from behind me. My goodness, that scared me. I turned my head and screamed. Across me was a glowing blotch of darkness, an oozing mass that seemed to melt through the walls. I scrambled away, my back flat against the doors. Oh, a hand emerged from the writhing form, grasping at the edges. Foul-smelling black ichor dripped from its fingers. Another arm followed suit, clinging to the other side. I couldn't look away. Eyes. I couldn't find my voice to scream. A face took shape. Hi, teeth. A pair of hollow eyes and a manic grin with several teeth. It seemed to smile directly at me. I blacked out. Up. Yeah, wake up. Hey! I heard a voice, panicked and flustered from above me. A person was looming over me, visibly worried as I blinked back to consciousness. You're alive? I couldn't really check for a pulse, so... Anyway, are you all right? I think so. Oh, phew, I'm glad. Didn't mean to scare you back there. I realised I was still in the elevator, but now with a stranger twiddling their thumbs in front of me. They were taller than me, looming a few good inches past my head. Their limbs looked even more awkward in the baggy sweater they had. I wasn't sure if they forgot to wash away their makeup or if they just hadn't slept for 3 days straight. Possibly both. I realised they were staring at me as well. Their eyes focused on me a little too long, as if they'd forgotten how to blink. So... I suddenly remembered the last thing I saw. That creepy shadow from the walls. But before you were here, there was something crawling out of the walls. I know it sounds insane, but I swear, it looked straight out of a horror movie. The stranger looked nervous. Crap, they think I'm nuts. Don't look at me like that. No, I believe you, for sure. You saw it too? Well, sort of. Sorry, I was really trying to be sneaky. That must have been uncomfortable to watch, huh? Come again. What are you saying? Well, I heard you yelling for help, and I couldn't just leave you alone, so I did the next best thing I could. What kind of a sick joke is this? I was just trying to help. There's really no easy way to say this. I'm not alive. Not the way you are. Did they mean... You mean like a ghost? The stranger lit up appreciatively. Basically, you must have heard the rumours, right? Well, it's me, in the flesh. Well, sans the flesh. Stick your hand through them. My hand shot out before I could think twice. Yep, it's going through them. What? The tips of my fingers instantly felt airy and ice cold. Light touching something solid, yet not. The stranger yelped and backed away. Hey, do you just go around sticking your fingers into people you just met? Sorry, I thought you were messing with me. The stranger was having none of it. Why do I even bother? If you sit tight and don't do anything stupid, they'll come find you in the morning. They shifted into a familiar black shapeless entity, melting into a puddle and disappearing through the floor. Exactly the same way they had entered. I found myself alone for the next 7 hours. It's a long time. The workers found me half dozing in the corner the next morning. I stayed late most nights on campus to see if the stranger would show up, but it seems they're ignoring me on purpose. I never saw them again. Bad end, rude awakening. Oh dear. Bad end 1, should say. Right, we won't stick our fingers through them. What kind of sick joke is this? I was just trying to help. There's really no easy way to say this. I'm not alive, not the way you are. Did they mean... Oh, I've done this, so I'll go to where I was. There we go. Right, this time we're going to believe them. I feel like this isn't the worst situation to be meeting a ghost for the first time. The stranger gave a sigh of relief. Thank you for trusting me. I'd ask for your name, but I already know that it's Amazing Purple Girl. How did you? I've been watching you for a while. Excuse me? Tonight. I've been watching you for a while tonight. It's not safe to be alone this late. I would know. Before I could ask further, they straightened. Anyways, I stuck around to see you write your paper. I don't necessarily agree with your hypothesis, but interesting nevertheless. I'm not going to be rude. Thanks, I think. They gave a shy smile. No problem. This wasn't the way I expected my night to go, but I guess the sooner I accepted it, the better. I should probably ask for their name instead of calling them stranger. You know my name, but what about yours? Oh, they looked away, fingers picking at their sleeve. I don't remember. I know who I was and what I did when I was alive, but not my name. Strange, isn't it? Have you ever thought of picking one yourself? Their eyes widened as if the thought never occurred to them. I never needed a name, but if I were to have one, I've always liked the way Alma sounds. Again, I'm not going to be rude. It's perfect. Their smile widened. Thank you, amazing purple girl. Alma went back to twiddling their fingers. We stood in silence for a while, gauging on what to say next. I kept glancing back at their hands, wondering if they'd feel as solid as they looked. Don't do it. They knew I was staring, but didn't seem to mind, waiting patiently in front of me. My thoughts were running wild from sleep deprivation and shock to actually form words past our introductions, to be honest. They started humming softly, as if to fill the silence. Except there is music in the elevator. That's when it hit me. For a ghost, they could easily be a student just like me. I have to ask, how did you, Alma had a knowing look in their eyes. Oh man, it's honestly kind of embarrassing. Insist. Despite having no blood flowing through their veins, their cheeks seemed to darken. We don't have to get into it. But I really want to know. Please. They hesitated before nodding. Promise you won't make fun of me. Promise. Okay. So, I was staying late, working on an assignment, just like you. No one was around. Even back then, I was known as a loner most of the time. It didn't bother me. While I was working, I got thirsty. No big deal. So I headed over to the vending machine for a drink. They paused, hands shaking. They clasped at their wrist and twisted before continuing. Just a soda. Not too much to ask, right? I paid for the damn thing, but... Well, I think I see where this is going. Somehow my hand got stuck in the dispenser. So I pulled, and, well... They struggled a bit before I waved for them to continue. It fell. I felt my whole body being crushed under the weight. I couldn't even cry out for help. And the whole time my hand was still stuck on that thing. Not that I could even tell. I think my wrist was beyond saving at that point. They sunk into themselves. I died trying to get some cheap soda. How pathetic is that? It's not. I'm sorry that happened to you. I put my hand over theirs. It passed right through, giving an ice cold chill up my fingertips, but Alma seemed to appreciate it nevertheless. They looked up at me, their nervous hands finally coming to a stop. I've never told anyone about it before. I didn't think it would feel this freeing. Thank you. I heaved a sigh and moved to sit down, leaning against the doors. Alma looked on curiously. What are you doing? I shrugged and took out my phone to look for a time-wasting app. In no time I had one of my mindless games open. Might as well settle in and spend the next few hours trying to beat my high score. Not much I can do right now. Got some battery to last a couple of hours. I pat down a spot next to me. You want to watch? Alma stood for a moment as if unsure. Come on, plenty of room for both. Just watch your legs, Lanky. They settled in beside me, sitting crisscross applesauce, and leaned over to look at my phone. My shoulder immediately chilled at their close proximity, but I didn't bother bringing it up. We chatted amicably as my fingers tapped away at my screen, Alma getting more invested the higher my numbers got. But otherwise it was peaceful company. A few hours passed. I must have dozed off at some point, as the next thing I knew, there was some whirring behind me that woke me up with a jolt. Voices began to call out, and I turned to see some workers prying the door open for me. It took no time for me to step outside when their work was done. The sunlight shining over me made it feel like everything that happened last night was a dream. I turned on my phone to look at the time. Instead, I saw an unsent message typed out on the screen. Be safe. Careful about staying late next time. I blinked and looked around. A cold chill went up my arm, and I almost turned to expect Alma, but saw nothing. Next time? I put my phone away and rubbed my bleary eyes, mentally making a note to stay back at the campus more frequently from now on. Good end one, till next time. Ew. Ew, don't touch me, creep. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. Just give me some space, will you? Nobody asked for your opinion. Oh, sorry. This wasn't the way I expected my night to go, but I guess the sooner I accepted it, the better. I never needed a name, but if I were to have one, I've always liked the way Alma sounds. It sounds stupid. Oh, no need to be rude about it. Alma went back to twiddling their fingers. We stood in silence for a while, gauging on what to say next. Back down. I guess I don't have to tell you then, that's all right. I heaved a sigh and moved to sit down, leaning against the door. Instead, I saw an unsent message typed out on the screen. It's the same. Kinda sounded like you deserved it. Alma's eyes shrunk into thin slits. Why are you so mean to me? The lights dimmed, a fuzzy static rising in the air. A heavy weight settled into my chest as Alma stared me down. Their height only made me shrink further. I've done nothing but be nice to you. All I wanted to do was help, and yet... Everything went dark. I stepped back as rasping noises came from in front of me. Sounds of scuffling and bones snapping. My back hit the wall. It was cold, colder than anything I've ever felt. It hurt to breathe as I waited in the dark for something to happen. Hello? Lovely. The emergency lights turned on. Alma no longer looked human. Multiple eyes writhed across their form, tiny slits with red pupils judging me. Mouths cackled and taunted, whispering, You deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this. Wait. My feet buckled as the elevator began to drop, free falling as gravity's pull took over. The buttons began to light up one by one as we fell by each floor, faster and faster as it gained speed. The scraping of metal was loud in my ears. I dropped to my knees begging for it to stop. And stop it did. Splat. Bad end 2, you deserved it. Yep, I certainly did. Oh, I've been through it and through it and through it and through it, and I cannot work out how to get the other good ending. So I think I'm going to have to leave it there. I will carry on with Monkey Island. I don't know if I'm going to manage any more spooky games before Halloween. I have something planned for Monday, which is appropriate. But for now, that's it. So, hope you enjoyed it. And until the next video, bye.